Welcome. This is Recidiva. I'm sharing a recording of a casual Skyrim playthrough using a mod list I built. My profound thanks to all the mod creators who have made this game a crowdsourced treasure. I hope you enjoy. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of this kind of dungeon design. The Soulstime dungeon design is not unique. It's disappointing. I like the Ashbon. I have remakes for the models, but I do like how they just rise out of the ground. That's cool. Same way that I really like how Spriggans sometimes just like step out of trees. Oh, excuse me. Stop that. Don't like you. I think it's time to save. Oh yeah, I'm gonna die.
Must have been luck.
Wow. Oh, and I'm not wearing any pants. Oy. So many problems. Okay, honey. Let's deal with the pants issue, shall we? Yeah, that's not good. There we go. It's saved now, so you got your literal ass is covered. How about that, honey? Okay. Shoot at her from here before that crap can hit me.
The Hearthstone protects you.
Man. Now I'm gonna have to run. Look! Look it! Why can't I not loot them? Oh, I'm supposed to talk to her or something. Rip heart out.
No!
Ugh.
So, Nellard is a...
Oops, sorry. I had a kitty on my lap, and that ended that. Rip heart out. Hey kitty, you back? I'm sorry. I was loudly amused. You're sweet. You're a good guy. You're cool. I was just ripping someone's heart out. Nothing personal. I don't know what that did. Oh my god! Stop it! Oh, yeah. Scared the kitty again. Can you give me another chance? Thanks, sweetheart. I'm sorry I'm a bad kitty mommy sometimes, but things are funny. Yes, heart ripping can be funny. Hello, beautiful. You are loved. You love more than heart ripping, but I can have both. Just don't try to compete with headshots, okay? Headshots and me have been around for longer than you have. For longer than you've been alive, little man. No. He just kind of rolls over, flops over, and looks at me. And belly rubs. Don't bite. Don't bite. It's not a good plan. Okay, you can make angry biscuits.
You're alive! I hope that bodes ill for Ildare.
The diary is dead.
Well, well, you have proven to be a more valuable ally than I anticipated. I have a staff for you, but I would also like to make you a member of my household. A member of House Telvanni. No need to thank me. I know you are overwhelmed with gratitude.
I kinda am, man. I like you. Can I help with your research?
I'm running low on heartstones. If you have any with you, I'll buy one. Otherwise, I can tell you where you might find one.
I have a heartstone.
Excellent. I'll take it. Here, have some septums.
Okay. What does it mean to be a member of your household?
For now, not much, but in a few decades, when I return to Vardenfell, you would be seen as Morrowind nobility. In the meantime, we would keep a bed and chest here for you.
Aw.
Well, what are you waiting for? Go get me that book.
Is this my bedroom? Ew. Ew, everything's ew. Thanks so much. Ugh.
Fill those
Ew.
soul gems like I asked.
Yes, Master.
Oh, is my bed
Although
near the
Grand Soul Gem always
tortured
becomes-
Spriggans?
Idiot. Those are hard to find. Next time, don't fill it at all if you can't do it properly.
I don't know where my bed is, and I don't want to use it. Oh, okay. Read mid-year correspondence. N. I have consulted the Arcanium regarding the Heartstones, but no such thing has been previously described or even referred to in the enchanting literature. Scholars of harmonic resonance have previously theorized that the remnants of the Heart of Lorcan may have imbued the very stone of Red Mountain. Perhaps this might explain some properties of the stones? And it is unclear whether these orbs are twinned or part of a one-way system with subjects returning by conventional means, but this is a false dichotomy. There is a third possibility. Doubled one-way systems with each pseudo-twinned orb located on the target dais of the other. Such a system would appear, for all intents and purposes, to be a two-way twinned system, though it would be far easier to construct and manage. I've sent a copy of my report on the orbs along with this letter for further information. On the topic of this enchanting table of yours, I would very much be interested in acquiring a working model, or even some schematics? S. It's very likely, Archmage. Huh? Okay, I don't need the enchanter, but I do need to finish the black book, so let's do that. The Hidden Twilight. Learn the black book's knowledge. Okay. Oh, is this one of the ones that has a million chapters? Yeah. I just need to try to remember which chapter I'm on. I'm in chapter 2, so I need to go up, not back. Oh my god. Wow. That... is not what I wanted to do. Okay. You respawn quickly. Okay, so even with acrobat boots, I need to unstealth and run, and we're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, thank you. Why am I unable to jump? Oh, hey, that's not good. Woo! Ready to do the lurker voice. Oh, now I'm paralyzed. Oh, that's not good. Wow, hey, dude. Not fair to start hitting you while you're actively zoning. I know, maybe you guys aren't really interested in fair, huh? Is it sending me back to chapter 3? Yep, sure is. I don't even know if clairvoyance works in here. I have been through here. I am lost. Try chapter 4 again. Nope. No, there really isn't anything here. Alright, I'm gonna look up where I'm supposed to go because really, these are too hard for me to figure out. Oh boy. Yeah, this isn't particularly helpful. Oh, okay. But open. Hopefully. Here. Ah, cool. Just some low poly hell. All the cool things you could have done with books, and you just made them dirty and ugly. Ruined them. I think the one with the top number. This is probably the most complicated one, with 7 chapters. Nope, 8. I don't remember them getting much more complicated than this. I'm really lagging in here. Oh. Interesting. Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like paralyzed. I've decided. As long as I get used to the green. One at a time. Yeah. Ah! I like it. Yeah, you can see how this can be very difficult. This is just master. Yeah. Gross. Get away from me, weirdo Murloc. No more little. Gross. You are nasty. All y'all. Nasty. Okay, looks like I made it. Save before we crash upon activating things and zoning. Summons a field of writhing tentacles that poison foes. Ew. Freezes the target between Oblivion and Tamriel for 30 seconds. Fully restores your health, magicka, and stamina. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Yay. One more black book down. Let's see if there's anything else for Tel Mithrin. Did most of that without a guide, it just kind of led me along. Elenia. Ah, okay. I'm actually gonna leave some of these because the black books are gonna... Lost knowledge. Let's do lost knowledge, see if we can find it. He keeps yelling at me to go get his book, so... There we go. It's the next black book.
Good day, friend. Keeping well?
Yeah, I'm covered in ichor and blood. Sure, I'm fine. Ben Kongerke. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I've gone in here often. Pass it a lot. Oh, it's not really a ramp. Okay. Oh. Yeah, I don't really remember this at all. I mean, I'm sure I've done it. I just don't remember it. Oh, okay, there's a puzzle. Okay. Okay, here, a word wall. Okay, so I should be looking for the tablet that got dragged away somewhere. Or just try it like that. No. There we go. Alright, let's look at our fate card collection. Still without any decks. Haven't added anything in a while. Possible I could get a deck for the first time in forever. Still no. Okay. Why aren't you wearing pants, honey? I give you pants. You don't wear them. Why is that? Hmm? Why is that, sweetheart? I want to understand. Okay. I don't understand the pantslessness, but we're gonna work on it, okay? We'll figure it out eventually. You're looking a little rough there, sweetheart, so I'm not gonna yell at you. I had a very black bookie day. Lots of hentai. Not pleased with it. Signing up for more. Yeah, it's check. Okay. look, 4 exits. Okay. Alright. This one should move over to the right now. Okay. I think I got it. Wait. Is it supposed to go back? No. No, I don't think so. Try chapter 5. That's weird. Okay. We passed some puzzles we couldn't solve, so maybe we can solve them now. See if going back to chapter 4, 2 to 4 helps. No. Walk around unstealth to see if okay, where am I? Yeah, I'm confused. Chapter 4, okay. Five. No, there's really okay. back to chapter 3. But I don't. I Alright, I'm gonna look up a guide for this one too because I'm me. Okay. Ah, okay. There wasn't a quest marker. Alright. Don't need black market. Don't need that. Spectral drum, why not? Yeah, one is a servant to carry your gear, the other one is a merchant, but I already have that stuff handled with mods, so. Bard is just a skill that you can trigger or a spell that you can use, not sure which, to increase your stamina. Okay, I didn't see an exit, but is there an exit? Yay, it just looked like all the other ones. Okay, cool. Happy to have an exit. Pants check. Thank you. filthy. Take a bath before you touch the books, please. So much blood. Alright, a little better. Breathing Water by Haliel Nirn. We walked through the dry, crowded streets of Balfell, glad to be among so many strangers. In the wharfs of Vivek he had no such anonymity. They knew him to be a smuggler. Here he could be anyone. A lower-class peddler, perhaps. A student, even. Some people even pushed against him as he walked by, as to say, we would not dream of being so rude as to acknowledge that you don't belong here. Saren Relis was not in any of the taverns, but he knew she was somewhere. Perhaps behind a tenement window or poking around in a dunghill for an exotic ingredient for some spell or another. He knew little of the ways of sorceresses, but that they always seemed to be doing something eccentric. Because of this prejudice, he nearly passed by the old Dunmer woman having a drink from the well. It was too prosaic, but he knew from the look of her that she was Saren Relis, a great sorceress. I have gold for you, he said to her back, if you would teach me the secret of breathing water. She turned around, a wide, wet grin stretched across her weathered features. I ain't breathing it, boy, I'm just having a drink. Don't mock me, he said stiffly. Either you're Saren Relis and you will teach me the spell of breathing water, or you aren't. Those are the only possibilities. If you're going to learn to breathe water, you're going to have to learn there are more possibilities than that, boy. The School of Alteration is all about possibilities, changing patterns, making things be what they could be. Maybe I ain't Saren Relis, but I can teach you how to breathe water. She wiped her mouth dry. Or maybe I am Saren Relis and I won't. Or maybe even I can teach you to breathe water, but you can't learn. I'll learn, he said simply. Why don't you just buy yourself a spell of water breathing, or a potion over at the Mages Guild, she asked. That's how it's generally done. You're not powerful enough, he said. I need to be underwater for a long time. I'm willing to pay you whatever you ask, but I don't want any questions. I was told you could teach me. What's your name, boy? That's a question, he replied. His name was Tharian Winloth, but in Vivek they called him the Toll Man. His job, such as it was collecting a percentage of the loot from the smugglers when they came into harbor to bring to his boss at the Kimona Tong. Of the value of that percentage, he earned another percentage. In the end, it was very small indeed. He had scarcely any gold of his own, and what he had, he gave to Saren Relis. The lessons began that very day. The sorceress brought her pupil, who she simply called Boy, out to a low sandbank along the sea. I will teach you a powerful spell for breathing water, she said, but you must become a master of it. As with all spells and all skills, the more you practice, the better you get. Even that ain't enough. To achieve true mastery, you must understand what it is you're doing. It ain't simply enough to perform a perfect thrust of a blade. You must also know what you're doing and why. That's common sense, said Tharian. Yes, it is, said Saren, closing her eyes, but the spells of alteration are all about uncommon sense, the infinite possibilities, breaking the sky, swallowing space, dancing with time, setting ice on fire, believing that the unreal may become real. You must learn the rules of the cosmos, and then break them. That sounds very difficult, replied Tharian, trying to keep a straight face. Saren pointed out to the small silver fish darting through the water's edge. They don't find it so. They breathe water just fine. But that's not magic. What I'm saying to you, boy, is that it is. For several weeks, Saren drilled her student, and the more he understood about what he was doing and the more he practiced, the longer he could breathe underwater. When he found that he could cast the spell for as long as he needed, he thanked the sorceress and bade her farewell. There is one last lesson I have to teach you, she said. You must learn that desire is not enough. The world will end your spell no matter how good you are, and no matter how much you want it. That's a lesson I'm happy not to learn, he said, and left at once for the short journey back to Vivek. The wharfs were much the same, with all the same smells, the same sounds, and the same characters. His boss had found a new toll man who learned from his mates. They were still looking out for the smuggler ship, Moradrung, but they had given up hope of ever seeing it. Tharian knew they would not. He had seen it sink from the wharf a long time ago. On a moonless night, he cast his spell and dove into the thrashing purple waves. He kept his mind on the world of possibilities, that books could sing, that green was blue, that water was air, that every stroke and kick brought him closer to a sunken ship filled with treasure. He felt magicka surge all around him as he pushed his way deeper down. Ahead he saw a ghostly shadow of Moradrung, its mast billowing in a wind of deep water currents. He also felt his spell begin to fade. He could breathe reality. He could break reality long enough to breathe water all the way back up to the surface, but not enough to reach the ship. The next night, he dove again, and this time his spell was stronger. He could see the vessel in detail, clouded over and dusted in sediment, the wound in its hull where it had struck the reef, a glint of gold beckoning from within, but still, he felt reality closing in, and he had to surface. The third night, he made it into the steerage, past the bloated corpses of the sailors, nibbled and picked apart by fish, their glassy eyes bulging, their mouths stretched open. Had they only known the spell, he thought briefly, but his mind was more occupied by the gold scattered along the floor, the boxes that contained them shattered. He considered scooping as much he could carry into his pockets, but a sturdy iron box seemed to bespeak more treasures. On the wall was a row of keys. He took each down and tried it on the locked box, but none opened it. One key, however, was missing. Tharian looked around the room. Where could it be? His eyes went to the corpse of one of the sailors, floating in a dance of death not far from the box, his hands tightly clutching something. It was a key. When the ship had begun to sink, the sailor had evidently gone for the iron box. Whatever was in it had to be very valuable. Tharian took the sailor's key and opened the box. It was filled with broken glass. He rummaged around until he felt something solid and pulled out 2 flasks of some kind of wine. He smiled as he considered the foolishness of the poor alcoholic. This was what was important to the sailor out of all the treasure in the Moradrung? Then, suddenly, Tharian Winloff felt reality. He had not been paying attention to the grim, tireless advance of the world on his spell. It was fading away, his ability to breathe water. There was no time to surface. There was no time to do anything, as he sucked in his lungs filled with cold, briny water. A few days later, the smugglers working on the wharf came across the drowned body of the former tollman. Finding a body in the water in Vivek was not in itself noteworthy, but the subject that they discussed over many bottles of Flynn was how did it happen that he drowned with 2 potions of water breathing in his hands? Halgard's Tale by Tavi Dromio. I think the greatest warrior who ever lived had to be Vilius Nomenius, offered Shamara. Name one other warrior who conquered more territory. Tiber Septim, obviously, said Halgard. He wasn't a warrior, he was an administrator, a politician, said Garas. And besides, acreage conquered can't be final means of determining the best warrior. How about skill with a blade? There are other weapons than blades, objected Jamara. Why not kill with an axe or a bow? Who was the greatest master of all weaponry? I can't think of one greatest master of all weaponry, said Halgard. Biloxes of Agia, Nero in Black Marsh. Galaxis of Agianero and Blackmarsh was the greatest wielder of a lance. Ernst Lervu of the Ashlands is the greatest master of the club I've ever seen. The greatest master of the Kaidan is probably an Akaviri warlord we've never heard of. As far as archery goes, Pellinal Whitestrake supposedly conquered all of Tamriel by himself, interrupted Shamar. That was before the First Era, said Garaz. It's probably mostly myth, but there are all sorts of great warriors in the modern era. The Cantering usurper? The unknown hero who brought together the Staff of Chaos and defeated Jagar Tharn? We can't declare an unknown champion as the greatest warrior. What about Nandor Bered? The Empress Kataria's champion, suggested Shamara, who said he could use any weapon ever invented. What happened to him? Smiled Garaz. He was drowned in the Sea of Ghosts because he couldn't get his armor off. Call me overly particular, but I think the greatest warrior in the world should know how to take armor off. It's kind of hard to judge ability to wear armor as a skill, said Shamara. Either you have basic functionality in a suit of armor, or you don't. That's not true, said Halgard. There are masters in that as well. People who can do things while wearing armor better than we can out of armor. Have you ever heard of Hlaalu Pasorath, the king's great-grandfather? Shamara and Garaz admitted that they had not. This was hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and Pasorath was the ruler of a great estate, which he had won by right of being the greatest warrior in the land. It's been said, and truly, that much of the house's current power is based on Pasorath's earnings as a warrior. Every week he held games in his castle, pitting his skill against the champions of the neighboring estates, and every week he won something. His great skill wasn't in the use of weaponry, though he was decent enough with an axe and a longsword, but in his ability to move quickly and with a great agility, wearing a full suit of heavy mail. There were some who said that he moved faster while wearing armor than he did out of it. Some months before the story began, he had won the daughter of one of his neighbors, a beautiful creature named Minna, who he had made his wife. He loved her very much, but he was intensely jealous, and with good reason. She wasn't very pleased with his husbandly skills, and the only reason Minna never strayed was because Pasorath kept a close eye on her. She was, to put it kindly, naturally amorous and resentful of her position as a prize. Wherever he went, he always brought her with him. At the game, she was so placed in a special box so he could see her even when he competed. But his real competition, though he didn't know it, was from a handsome young armorer he also had won at one of his competitions. Minna had noticed him, and the armorer, whose name was Taran, had certainly noticed her. This all has the makings of a dirty joke, Halgard, said Shamara with a smile. I swear that it's entirely true, said Halgard. The problem facing the lovers was, of course, that they could never be alone. Perhaps because of this, it became a burning obsession to both of them. Taran decided that the best time for them to consummate their love was during the games. Minna feigned illness so she didn't have to stay in the box, but Pasorath visited the sick room every few minutes between fights, so Taran and Minna could never get together. The sound of Pasorath's armor clunking up the stairs to visit the sick wife gave Taran the idea. He crafted his lord a new suit of armor, strong and bright and beautifully decorated. For his purposes, Taran rubbed the leg joints with Luca dust, so the more he sweated, and the more he moved them, the more they'd stick together. After a little while, Taran figured Pasorath wouldn't be able to walk very quickly, and wouldn't have enough time in between fights to visit his wife. But just in case, Taran also added bells to the legs, which rung loudly when they moved, so the couple would be able to hear him coming in plenty of time. When the games commenced the following week, Minna feigned illness again, and Taran presented his lord with the new armor. Pasorath was delighted with it, as Taran hoped he would be, and donned it for his final fight. Then he stole upstairs to Minna's bedchamber. All was silent outside as the two began to make love. Suddenly, Minna noticed a particular expression on Taran's face, and before she had a chance to ask him about it, his head fell off at the neck. Pasorath was standing behind him with his axe in hand. How did he get upstairs so quickly with his leg joints gummed up, and didn't he hear the bells ringing? Asked Garaz. Well, you see, when Pasorath realized he couldn't walk on his legs very quickly, he walked on his hands. I don't believe it, laughed Shamara. What happened next? Asked Garrus. Did Passereth kill Mena also? No one knows exactly what happened next, said Halgard. Passereth didn't return for the next game, nor for the next. Finally, at the fourth game, he returned to fight, and Mena appeared in the box to watch. She didn't appear to be sick anymore. In fact, she was smiling and had a light flush to her face. They did it, cried Shamara. I don't have all the salacious details, except that after the battle it took 10 squires 13 hours to get Passereth's armor off because of all that Luca dust mixed with sweat. I don't understand. You mean he didn't take his armor off when they... But how? Like I said, replied Halgard, this is a story about someone who was more agile and accomplished in his armor than out of it. Now that's skill, said Garrus. Thanks for watching. Wishing you found family, creative hobbies, a hot bath after a long day, and food you love as much as Saleya loves apple pies.